Welcome to this video where we are going to talk about f-strings. And f-strings are combining strings with numbers. So we frequently need to combine text with variables. So this is what f-strings are for, and it works as follows. So let's make a calculation of a BMI here by starting to initialize the weight. This is an integer. Then we are initializing the height. That's actually a float. Then the BMI is calculated as BMI equals the weight divided by the squared height. This is the formula for BMI, and then we use an f-string to show that number or to put it in a string. So we are starting with an f, and this is what an f-string is defined. The syntax is starting with the f, then the string, and then we see that the curly brackets, they are now not interpreted as text. So we have actually the curly brackets where a variable is specified, and then we come to the output that is as follows. Your BMI is, and then the variable, and as you can see, there are many digits after the decimal point. So this is a great problem with that output that we want to change in the following. But before doing this, we have another look on a f-string that holds more than one variable. In this case, it's actually 3 variables. And this then leads to the following output. Your BMI is, and then we have our long number, that is the result of a float, like a division leading to a float. Then we have the height 1.86. That is actually not showing all the zeros that comes after the 6. That's great. We don't need to format this then, and the integer, of course, is also shown without many digits. So the F in f-string stands for format, and we just saw that we need to format our BMI value. And let's have a look how to do this. So this is actually the same f-string that we have seen before, and now there's BMI colon 4.1f. What does it mean? The F stands for a floating point representation of that number. We still want to have like the number was 27 point something. That is actually the representation. We will have a look on a different representation very soon. So 4.1 implies that we want to have 4 digits in total and 1 digit after the decimal point. So the result is as follows. We have your BMI is 27.5. So there are actually 4 digits here as we intended to have it. And there's one single decimal number, like one number after the decimal point, as we specified with the 1 after the dot in 4.1f. So let's have a look on other examples. So what if you have many total number of digits, more than you actually need? Then you come up with something like this. So Python is putting many spaces before your number. So this is not a very nice representation, so this can be improved. If you are not providing any number of digits or an insufficient number of digits, Python is using as many as it needs to represent your number. So this is a good choice to not specify anything here, because then you have the perfect number of digits here. So this is nicely represented. Let's have a look what happens if you use a e instead of f. That is actually leading to a exponential representation, 2.7 E10. The E10 just means like multiplication with 10 to the power of 1, like 10. So 2.7 times 10 is 27. So this is a representation that is actually used for larger numbers. So let's jump into our notebook where we are going to test what we just saw. So we have a floating point number that is very large when we, for example, divide 1 by 3, right? This is a very long number because we have many 3s after the decimal point. So this is a very good example of something that we want to format. So let's come up with our f-string. We start with a leading f, then having, for example, a single quote. You can also use a double quote. And then you have some arbitrary text, and then your curly brackets like the a, and then we are closing the string with another single quotation mark. We are executing this, and as you can see, the number becomes very longish. Then we have our possibility here to specify the number of digits. So let's say we have 3 digits in total and 1 digit after the decimal point. So this leads to the following outcome. So as you can see, we have 0.3. This is 3 number of digits and 1. If we come up with more digits than we actually need, then there are many spaces included. If we are coming with an insufficient number of digits, this is not a problem. The Python interpreter knows to use as many digits as is necessary to represent your number with the number of digits after the decimal point that you specified. You can even leave this out, coming up with something like this. So this is it for the video. In the next video, we are going to talk about the built-in function print. And this is very important to have more control what is actually outputted in your Python program. So stay tuned.